think it's her father. And why can't they find her pops, man?
Because he's probably dead. His body will come popping up in the last reel somewhere. Eyes gouged out, fingers cut off, teeth knocked out. See, the police are always off track with this shit. If they watch Prom Night, they'd save time. There's a formula to it. A very simple formula. Everybody's a suspect.
Welcome once again to another episode of What the Hell Did We Just Watch? I'm your host, as always, the Lou-motional Lou. I'm here, ready to do yet another podcast. I got the thumbs up from a guy down the hallway. Thank you. I'm Lou-motional Lou, like I said, and formalities before we start talking to episode number 16. I'm very happy to be 16 weeks into this. It's going very well, and yeah, man, let's keep it up. Formalities to my left. Who we got?
Sandman, as always.
Who?
Sandman.
Vanessa.
Hi, Vanessa.
Joe again.
Hey, Joe and Vanessa again. Welcome back to the show real quick. Thank you for coming back.
Thanks for having us.
Outrageous always here.
Oh, it's going to me. I thought, we have another person here, but all right, whatever.
She's Silent V.
Yeah, the silent. Yeah.
The silent.
The silent V.
The silent, but
it's as always.
The
The
silent but
not so
deadly.
good-looking John, soon to be the good-looking John, soon to be the Mr. Clean John.
Maybe by the time we're episode 20.
That's
Maybe.
right.
No, with that haircut.
What's wrong with my haircut? Yeah, what's wrong with my haircut?
Don't kill his shine.
You look sexy, John. Look
Dude,
sexy.
Dude has a Lego head for a hair. What are you talking about?
John, is that the first time you said it? Come on, I need something new, man.
That was the first time I said it.
Actually, no, you said it.
We got confirmation from somebody else named Gary.
Trust me.
Joe, I think I need your help for roasting John.
You can't. Vanessa's here.
That's right.
Well, welcome again. It's the second episode to our first annual horror movie month, so welcome to the newcomers. If you didn't know, the month of October we're doing horror movies only. Excuse me. And we are only watching movies. We're not having a real talk rant, or at least we're trying not to have a real talk rant in October, and I think it's going very well. And this week we actually did our first sequel. So can anybody tell me what movie it was?
Fright Night 2.
Fright Night 2.
No, wait, if you're
I'm
gonna
sorry.
say that.
It's actually Fright Night Part 2.
Yeah, this
Oh,
actually has a part.
we
No,
forgot
two.
the part.
Edit this
Guys,
out.
we
Cut
forgot
back
the
about
part.
10 seconds. We're doing it again.
No, because can anybody tell me? I mean, I
Fright
did it
Night.
last week. Can anybody do it for me for this week?
No,
How
I
it went?
can't.
Come
I
on,
can't do it like the way you
man
did
up.
it, man.
Fright Night.
No, Louis, you gotta do it.
Part 2.
Okay, here it goes. Because back by popular demand. Are you ready? Fright Night. You
guys have to have the hand. You guys need to see the hand. You guys need to see the hand when he does it. It like goes on a downward.
Well, maybe
The T-Rex
for
hand.
the second annual horror movie month. Maybe I'll give it to you guys. Hopefully, we'll be in video
Yes.
next year. You never know,
That
eh?
would be awesome.
Yeah, it'd be great,
Yeah.
wouldn't it? Well, the reason why we did Fright Night Part 2 is because the ones that did watch Fright Night, the very first one, really, really liked it. You know what I mean? Not So Good Looking John thought it was great. Outrageous O loved it a lot. So he thought it was, immediately he says, oh, I liked it. I would rewatch it, definitely. We wouldn't even start talking the movie yet. And I was like, damn, that's great, man. I showed him a great movie. I showed him a good horror movie, you know. And one of the things that I wanted to talk about that we couldn't because Outrageous O did not, he didn't bless the room that we were doing it in, so we ended up getting cut off early. You know what I mean? So my laptop went all stupid out of all Octobers, you know. Maybe it was a spirit came into the room, turned off my laptop, and we had to literally ghetto it. We recorded the rest of the show off of our cell phones.
Yeah.
And that's how the last episode worked right into it, and it went kind of seamless. There, if you're not paying attention too hard, you won't even realize when it happened. But I think we ended up having a very good show nonetheless. And the best part about having Fright Night Part 2 is that we can continue that conversation just a tad.
Exactly.
And the reason why I'm saying that is because Fright Night Part 2 starts off with the last about a minute and a half, 2 minutes with what happened at the end of the film. Now, before I talk about that real quick, Vanessa, Joe, well, more Vanessa, you've never seen Fright Night.
No.
Joe, did you see Fright Night?
Yes.
Okay. Was the beginning of this film informative to you? Meaning for you to, like, speed it up a little bit in terms of, like, what happened at the end?
Yes, it definitely helped. Just because I wasn't sure of what happened in Fright
Yeah.
Night Part 1, but it helped kind of ease
Yeah, in
into
terms of
what
like
was going on.
what goes into the second one.
Yeah.
What Fright Night is too, actually, what happened is exactly what happened in Fright Night 1.
Okay,
You know what I
so
mean?
it was like the same.
It was
repetition.
instead of in the apartment building, it was his next door neighbor was moving in, and he saw a coffin, just like kind of like how
How
he
you
was
saw
seeing
it when he
like
visited
more
him.
coffins this time. Well, it was crates. You didn't even see coffins this time.
Yeah.
Where part 1 was an actual crate. I mean, an actual coffin. You know that was in there. Just real quick, not so good looking John. Did you exorcise the demons in this room? So we're not gonna get disconnected again, are we?
Yes.
Okay, good. You did your, mumbo
Jazzercise.
jumbo jazzercise.
I did.
You did smoke.
I-
You lit
Yep.
up voodoos and everything.
Yeah, I
Okay,
did.
Oscar
good.
made sure he made fog happen. For
Yes, there's
today's
fog
episode.
in here. It's
Yeah.
setting the mood of horror.
Yes.
So yeah, no, like I feel that I think you don't feel lost in the second one. You
No.
see how the first one ended, and I think it was okay. So before we also talk about the actual film, from my left, can we just see? I just need to know, what did everyone think about the film? Just a quick yes or no. Did you like it? Did you not like it? San, please.
I was iffy with it because I liked the first one better.
Mm-hmm.
It just when I first watched it, the first one, I kind of good one, Joe. I was more drawn to the first one, and the second one I wasn't. I was not so really drawn to it. It's just I don't know. I just like how I don't know. I feel like everything felt smooth in the first one. I feel like the second one they were pushing it a little bit too much.
I didn't watch the first one, but I did enjoy watching this second part 2. The beginning did help. It kind of, I guess I figured out why
Set
he was
you
in
up.
therapy for 3 years.
Yeah.
I
I
didn't.
recommend watching it.
Yeah, I will.
I'm sure Joe has a way to. If not, I shall give it to you so you
Sounds
can
good.
watch it. But so you ended up liking it anyway.
Yeah, it was good. I mean, I haven't watched the first one, so I don't have anything to compare it to or say if I like the first one better or not. But
Yeah.
this one was interesting. It was enjoyable. There were some parts where I thought it was funny.
Yeah.
But that kind of ties into what's going on nowadays. They're trying to make horror and to like have funny parts in movies or whatever. But this felt a little bit more natural than it is.
Well, what
than
I
it's
like
being
about
done
the
now.
quote unquote funny parts is that it's funny when it's funny. But when it's serious, I feel like it's serious. I
Yeah,
don't think
yeah,
that
yeah,
they get lazy with it.
Right.
For its time.
Yeah.
Anyway. Joe, what you think?
All right. Well, as far as sequels go, 9 times out of 10, they try to make it a new movie, try to top the first one. This felt like a continuation from the first
It
movie.
felt like an honest sequel.
It was
Yeah.
fluid, and it works that way.
Mhm.
It's not like, you try to one-up the first movie and bomb.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a continuation of the first storyline, and it worked out fine. I think it was good.
And you never saw Fright Night.
I've
Part
never
2,
seen
right?
the sequel. I didn't know there was a sequel.
Awesome. I'm glad that I was able to show you something that you did see, and you're like, oh shit, there's a sequel.
Yeah.
Why the fuck not? I'm not gonna watch it.
No idea there was a sequel for this.
I definitely want to watch it. Yeah. Outrageous. Oh.
Yes.
Did I go for 2 for 2 for you? You loved Fright Night. You say you wanted to see it. That you would watch it again. Did Fright Night Part 2 put you there?
It's funny. Actually, I loved the first one, and as I watched the second one, I kind of loved and I hated it at the same time.
There's things to. I agree.
Only because of like the reintroduction of the characters was interesting because I wanted to see. Oh wait, where was he from the last time I seen him? How did he grow? How did the character evolve and change from?
Did he do that for you?
Actually, it
Charley
did. It did
evolve
answer.
in a way?
It did answer the questions that I was looking for as I continued to watch the film, and but actually, I kind of wanted to see a little bit more transformation, like the first one. The great effects they did with the costumes and everything else went along.
I think this one had decent one. There were moments where it was like, yeah, man, that's good. And sometimes it was.
But I may add, the soundtrack was fucking amazing.
Yeah,
it was
I
great.
think the soundtrack kicks
It
ass
was
too.
great.
Like the first
Yes,
one.
yes.
I think the second one has.
I like how they
amazing
stuck
soundtrack.
to that whole thing, and it made it actually. It was great. It
It
was
had
great.
the same theme song, but they
Yeah.
added some new flavor to it. the unannounced person in the room, I just need to know. Can you wave to me? Did you like it? Yes or no? You don't even have to say. Did you like Fright Night Part 2?
I like the first one better.
Yeah, but did you like this one?
This one, it was okay.
All right, cool,
Yeah.
awesome. Yeah, that's all I need to know.
Silent B.
Oh man, did I get another person 2 for 2? Wait, am I 2 for 2 for a Friday night with you?
Like I said, it was close.
It was close.
It was
So
2.5.
like, what, 2.5?
Yeah,
All right,
2.5.
cool.
2.5.
Am I 2 for 2 for not so good looking John? If I am 2 for 2, I'll make you a tad a little more cuter.
No. It's you got a hard 2 for 2.
Awesome, yeah, I got a 2 for 2.
You fell asleep.
Oh,
How dare you.
Only for a little bit. I swear, it was only for a little
he
bit.
was meditating.
It was only
It
for
was
a
in the
little bit.
beginning.
He was hoping the vampire would see him in his dreams.
Exactly.
She was a cutie.
It was that scene.
Yeah, she was.
What?
Yes, she was hot.
So I'm 2 for 2.
No, yeah.
Friday Night Part 2 you like?
In everybody's defense, I did sleep for like what was like 5 minutes. It was no, it wasn't.
Nah, it was like a good.
It was early.
20 minutes.
It was early.
No, it
20
was,
minutes?
It
Don't
was
do
not.
that to
No,
me,
no,
John.
it definitely was not 20 minutes. I know for a fact it wasn't 20
Put
minutes.
the movie again.
It was about. It was about. It was a lot. It was really like 5 minutes, but it was like one of the boring.
Yeah,
like,
the little dead parts.
Oh,
The setup part.
But
that's
yeah,
okay.
it was the setup part. But anyway, no. Regardless of that, it was really good.
Yeah, awesome.
And in my defense, I was coming from a hangover.
Aren't we all, Jonathan?
No, it was
Supposed
pretty.
hangover.
It was pretty. I had a long night.
Yeah. I
Truth
got
be
you.
told, he was dreaming about that sexually ambiguous black
I
vampire.
was. Is there a problem? The
The one that looked like a man.
The one on the roller
No,
skate.
but,
Jonathan,
like,
hello?
What?
Hello?
Hello. No, but no.
I hate her.
Let's carry on here. I like the soundtrack. The soundtrack continuous from the first one. Everything was good. I liked it. I liked the 80s style.
Yeah.
You like that?
Because like this is
But I just have a slight problem.
What was?
But we could talk about it later.
Yeah, we'll
could
start off.
definitely-
We'll build up to it.
yeah.
And
Yeah,
that.
same here.
Make sure you stop when we get to that part, because we're gonna start a little from the beginning and kind of like rise up a little bit. Now, what I wanted to start
I just
with.
don't
go
like
ahead.
how everybody decided to call out on my little sleep antic that I did.
Fucking guy.
Don't worry, Sam was texting half the time.
No, bastard.
Oh man,
I
I thought
have a rule, man. No
I
texting. Bro.
I'm sorry, man. I had to.
Yeah.
He's
That's
16.
probably why you didn't like it. As
He's
much.
premature. Leave him alone.
Makes me feel any better.
Now-
I at least I didn't fall asleep. At least I was awake.
Still weren't paying attention.
I'll
I
tell
was.
you. Yeah, I'll tell you a little
Joe
story
calling
about
me
my
out.
little encounter with Fright Night Part 2. I did watch Fright Night. I was petrified of it. I couldn't watch it. I'm talking about as a kid. It just goes under those movies I should never be watching, but I do. And then when Fright Night Part 2 came out, I was like, I can watch this, meaning it was more friendlier to me in my young age, and I watched the hell out of Fright Night 2. And then obviously when I grew up, it was like Rocky. I knew that the first one was actually way better. But this one I still believe is good. In terms of how sequels go, this is actually one of the better sequels in terms of like all the horror movies ever made that make sequels. I think that this goes into like the pile of like a justifiable sequel to a part 1. Does anybody disagree? Does anybody disagree?
I don't know.
No. But for the ones that have seen it,
I don't disagree,
It's-
Joe.
no.
Yeah, you know what? Yeah.
Like I'm talking about like when it comes to sequels. Out of all the sequels you've seen in your life of horror films, and how many sequels have you said to yourself, "Why is that a sequel?" You know what I mean? Joe, you said it earlier. It's like
It fits better than the whole Hellraiser series.
exactly like that goes into like Hellraiser loses itself with every
Immediately,
movie that
the
they
first
release.
sequel they lost.
Exactly, like, and a lot of horror films lose themselves.
Dusk Till Dawn.
From it's like, yeah, like where do you go from 1 to 2? It's like, why call it 2? Just say it's a spin-off. Call it From Dusk Till Dawn, blah blah blah, instead of calling it part 2, where people are literally running to go see it because there's a number 2 in the end of it. You know what I mean? Like when you watch something that has a part 2, you're expecting a sequel, right? Am I wrong?
Exactly.
And it's usually a different director. I didn't pay
Yeah.
attention. Was this the same director as the first
No,
movie?
believe it or not, these are 2 different directors, but the thing is they got 2 very good directors. The first director was Tom Holland, the director of Child's Play.
All right.
The second movie is Tommy Wallace, who's the director of Stephen King's It.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So they got 2 people
That
that,
worked.
know
That worked at
horror.
least.
They were in the same vein. They were just on the right track. That's what I'm trying to say. That's actually what I'm trying to say. So, like I said, I think it's a justifiable 2 in terms of like the pile of like, does this sequel hold up to like how the first one is? I mean, even Vanessa, you say you liked it. Like, so if I showed you part 1, I have a feeling that you won't be like, you know what? it degrades part 2 a little bit. I don't think you'll actually get that feeling. Did anybody get that feeling where you felt undersold? Meaning a lot undersold, where to the point where you didn't enjoy it.
No, I actually enjoyed this one.
Yeah,
it
I
was
feel like
really
it got
good.
to the point.
Yeah, like you were interested, like the second that Charley Brewster told that how the beginning of that movie turned into a little mini story to a psychiatrist.
Yes.
3 years later, and kind of like saying that he went through some kind of like group hypnosis. You know what I mean? That felt always kind of weird to me. They never really sat right to me like group hypnosis, but I'm like whatever. That's how part twos work sometime. But what I'm trying to say is that I think it holds up as a sequel to like where other horror movies just fall real flat when it comes to making a part 2 of something.
I agree. I
You
agree.
know, and
It flowed.
yeah.
It
Let me ask you something for the people that saw part 1. Did part 1 actually, believe it or not, had no deaths,
No, and that's another point. I
and
wanted
yet
to
you
bring
guys
up.
really enjoyed it.
Wait, what do
Yeah.
you mean it had no deaths?
You never saw a death. No
No.
one was seen getting killed.
No.
Yes.
talking about?
Yeah,
Part
yes,
1
it
and
was.
Fright Night, who was seen getting killed?
The
Ed.
head vampire.
I'm talking about, but that was when the Saw started going. I'm talking about the beginning when the vampires first started to come out,
There was
and
no
you're getting to
killing.
hear all those prostitutes dying, but you never really got to see a prostitute
We never
get killed.
see. We never.
That's
seen
what
it,
I'm
but-
trying to say. Yeah, and even Evil Ed, you don't see him get killed.
Yes, we do.
No, I'm talking about turning to a vampire. Yeah, no, you see his death. That's what I'm
Oh.
saying. Like in the finale is when you're gonna start seeing the deaths.
Yeah.
But the build up to that,
In the
you
early
know,
intro of the film,
yeah.
you
that's
don't
what I'm
see
saying.
that.
As the movie's progressing, obviously in the end they got to give you the deaths, they got to give you the
Yeah.
vampires and everything like that. But the build up to that, you don't see that. And part 2 actually gave us that.
Yeah.
At least one.
I feel like these vampires
two,
were
I'm
more
sorry.
bloodthirsty compared
Yes.
to the first one.
They were a lot more
They showed
aggressive.
right to the
Yeah.
point.
Yeah.
Well,
I-
actually, during that party scene, when they were in the club, you see them like, you see like a group massacre going on.
yeah,
But
there's a lot
silently,
more
though.
vampires. They're around there. There are vampires everywhere.
And werewolf.
And I will tell you this: he was not a werewolf.
Yeah, he was the original.
He was another vampire, just like Evil Ed, that can turn into a wolf.
So wait, why did he become a wolf more than if he was
Because that was just the way that he is. The one thing that I do like about the Fright Night series is that they have their own kind of way that their vampires are. The guy that was this quote unquote werewolf was actually not a werewolf. He was a vampire. That's why he died from a stake through a heart.
Why did he look like that?
Because in this world of Fright Night, vampires have a tendency to become vampires, bats, all in one go. Yeah. Vampires, bats, and werewolves. It all mixes in. You know what I mean? But the vampire werewolf does not have the same folklore as an actual werewolf. They still die like vampires, hence why he died from a stake through the heart, regardless of instead of a silver bullet. Does that make sense?
Why?
Classic vampires don't necessarily become just bats. They have the ability to transform into animals.
Yes. They if you ever seen Bram Stoker's Dracula, we actually had this little mini conversation about it in the last episode. If you remember, Dracula turned into a vampire, a bat, and a werewolf.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember him turning into a werewolf? And he ended up having sex with the woman as a werewolf.
I don't think I've ever seen that movie.
Oh, it's amazing. It's
good
fucking
film.
beautiful.
It's like a love romantic slash better than fucking Twilight.
And if you love filmmaking, that movie, I think it's a director's film, meaning like you could tell when you watch it, a director made it because he like painted it so fucking beautifully. Mm-hmm. Francis Coppola is a genius. But yeah, and if you see that film, that's where a lot of the folklore of this film borrows from. Is actually from Bram Stoker's Dracula. That's why when later in the film, Charley Brewster tells his girlfriend, "Yo, you should read Dracula," and you know that goes to the part with the roses.
Yeah.
I don't quote me on it, but there is a thing where they are affected by roses.
That was actually interesting because I never knew that.
Huh?
When I saw that scene, I actually never knew that.
That's what was funny. All the years of all the vampire, I don't know if you guys have seen a shitload of vampire movies in your life.
Mm-hmm.
I have a lot of vampire movies. This movie is the only movie that does the roses thing. This movie is also the only movie that does the vampire wolves thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I can't pick out of a hat. I can't tell you where the hell that comes from and shit like that. Like, you know, like in terms of like outside of Dracula, nobody has ever adopted it. That's actually one of the things we were talking about. Is like, why do you think that other vampire films never really adopted this kind of like stuff to do? Because I personally think they do some really cool stuff in this movie that would be nice if they did it in other movies.
I mean, the reason that it's not adapted by other people is because the first time something sells in Hollywood, they just copy it.
That's what I'm saying.
The first adaptation would be bats, and that's what everyone knows.
Yeah.
They don't want to get deep. They don't want to learn things. They don't want to go into folklore. They just want to make money.
Yeah.
So
That's
that's
the
why.
sad part. You know, where I feel like the first Fright Night, at least, they gave you something that was like, look, man, here's a vampire movie, man. And enjoy it. Here's like all this cool new stuff that we can do.
Yeah.
And you'll see that you saw that actually in Fright Night too. Like, have you seen a lot of vampire movies, Vanessa?
I've seen a couple.
Have you seen any vampire movies like this? In
No.
terms of like seeing how the girl transforms, all those different kind of ways that she looks like a vampire.
Yeah.
You know, you got her looking like regular with teeth. Then you got her looking all fucking weird and like kind of like old or kind of skeletally. And then you got her looking even more vampire-y, and then it keeps going. It just like there's so many stages in transforming a vampire, and that's actually one of the things I love about Fright Night, period, both 1 and 2.
Yeah.
Is that this is the only movie where you see so many different stages of vampirism in one vampire.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think that's just so cool. It's one of those things that's like, why are you not doing this? Meaning like other vampire movies, like you're so like skipping out, like there's so many cool things that you can do. You know what I mean? And all that. Now let me ask you this. Ending part 1, did you guys feel that the ones that saw it, did you guys feel that that the death was undersold? Did you think that his death was proper? Meaning like, were you justified as when you watch a movie, I like the way they killed him, that you like the way they killed him? Remember with the sunlight,
Yeah,
he gets
yeah.
boom and turn. Like one of the things that's cool that they cut out is Vanessa, is that when they killed the first guy with the sunlight and he's like boom right to crashing
Yeah.
through the wall, you see his his flesh burn, and you see a skeleton of a bat, of a huge human-sized bat,
In the first
and then
one.
it disappears. Sort of like a little bit how you not like the way you saw, but you saw like how it burned the girl
yeah.
and you know stuff like that. So you get that kind of like. There's really awesome special effects in the first one, and there's good special effects in part 2. But did you guys feel undersold of how the ending was in the first one?
Yeah.
You did? You
After
think
after seeing the second one, yeah, like I just felt like the way they did the first one, it was epic, and then it's just like, okay, they continued it. Now it's like, okay, well, what the hell? You know what I'm saying? Like
I'm confused. What?
Like for example, like how they killed off the what's his name?
Jerry Dandridge?
Yeah, they kill him off. And you know, all's right in the world, and all of a sudden his sister comes out of nowhere, and it was just
I think that's pretty awesome. In terms
Come
of
on.
sequels, it could have been just another vampire. That's what I'm trying to say.
I mean, it could have been, but the way he was defeated in the first one, he got so traumatized,
Mm-hmm.
the main character, to the point that he didn't want to believe the concept of vampires anymore.
Yeah.
So, like, towards the end of this one, I was just like, kind of expected a bigger, more.
Yeah. You just got more of a extravagant death.
Yeah.
Not as much, but like like I thought it was cool that she walks over to.
But it was interesting though how the character was actually in fear of his life.
Yeah.
But he was being hunted down by the,
Yeah.
by the sibling.
Yeah.
That's all like, my name is Nigga Montoya. You killed my father.
Pretty
Before
much.
I die.
Exactly.
I love that. That's a great way of saying that. Because actually, one of the things I do like is that, for lack of a better word, this movie is it's a revenge flick.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? She came. It's unofficial, but people already said that the eyes you see at the end of the film is her.
Mm-hmm.
It's her eyes that you see.
that would make sense.
Exactly. It's like that unofficial saying that. You remember that, Joe? The scene with the eyes at the end of the film? It's like red eyes that are glowing at next door, and Charlie looks at it, and he was like, and then he just goes back, and he just goes by his business. And then there was these red eyes. They're after the sequel came out, it was like it was her. It's her eyes. It's her eyes. But what do you guys feel about that part? Do you guys like the fact that it was a revenge flick? That it was the woman, she came in, she said Jerry Dandridge was my brother. I'm here to like basically pay back. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, obviously the way if that was the way the film was portrayed and the way she did it in Fright Night Part 2, she did it through a seductive way, and then she said she wanted to cause the most harm to him.
to Charlie.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, she did say
I like the fact because I think it was written very good. If you're gonna speak something, you gotta speak it to the mic.
My bad.
Get him.
No, I'm just saying because we want to hear you. No, one of the things that I really, really love is the fact that I think it was written well when Regine was talking to Peter Vincent in the stairs for the first time when she saw him, when he figured it out, and she said that Jerry Dandridge was my brother, blah blah blah, and she says, "I can kill you. This was not your idea. You're just a coward." And it's kind of like reverting back to the first film because he was a
Exactly.
coward
Yeah.
before he manned up and said,
Yeah.
"I need to help you." So her target is really Charley, not both of them. So, and I personally, again, like, they've used that before. Even in From Dusk Till Dawn, they did that, where she wanted to turn Charley into a vampire and torture him forever. Yeah. That was going to be his punishment for killing Jerry. You know what I mean? And I thought that was always a fucking cool thing. I thought that was a good idea. In terms of sequels, I like tied-in sequels. I'm just a big fan of it, because they could have just said Fright Night 2, and it could have been just a whole bunch of random-ass vampires.
Yeah, because when she said that, that to me, in my mind, gave me that it was a confirmed kill from the first scene. Because sometimes they don't really confirm the death, you know what I'm saying? So when she said that, I was like, oh, okay. He really is gone.
Yeah,
so.
Exactly. So now let's talk about the group, the clique, her little clique. And that's where they added the sequel thing. It was just Jerry Dandridge and his caretaker. And now we got like a whole mess. We got a whole, literally a squad goals up in here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's Regine and Joe's favorite vampire, the black vampire, who actually I looked up. He went by the name Bell, even though they never called him that.
It was the 80s. I'm telling you, trannies were as prevalent then as they are in 2016.
You want to know something fucked up? When I was a kid, I thought it was Michael Jackson.
You actually, before we stray any further, you actually made me raise a question.
What's up?
Did anybody count the amount of coffins that came out in the beginning? You want to question the red eyes at the end.
Yeah.
Were there only enough coffins to match each person in the crew?
Oh, wow.
As far as I know, there were 3. Because there was 3 actual vampires. We got Belle, Regine, and the werewolf.
Yeah. Then there was.
What about that?
And then you
Triple
got
H
the minion.
looking
Well, he's just another version of the guy from part 1.
Okay.
The caretaker. He's the guy. As you saw him, he was walking around making sure everybody's coffin was good.
Yeah.
He's kept alive through eating bugs.
Like Oogie Boogie, he's full of bugs.
Like Oogie Boogies, he's full of bugs. Exactly. So
Why
like,
bugs, though?
huh?
Why bugs?
Do
we ever find out?
That's the movie.
I don't know.
I guess that freaks you out. Hey, a guy that eats bugs is
It doesn't
freaky
freak
and
me.
nasty.
It almost makes me feel like he's like the vegetarian version of a vampire.
I can't confirm if he is a vamp, but I can confirm that he is an
Oh, he was a henchman.
He's not human. He's not.
He's a
meaning
ghoul.
like I think he lives long, like a vampire, but he's not a vampire because I think his job, like I said, is the caretaker. He cares for these vampires to make sure that their coffins are not, messed up and all that shit.
He was a Renfield.
Yes.
Oh my god, I was thinking about that movie. What is that? The name of that movie?
Dracula, Undead and Loving It.
Yes, that is one of my favorite movies.
Yeah.
That's one of my, and whenever I see any vampire movies, I
So you were
always
thinking
relate
about
it back
Leslie
to that. That is my number one.
Did Belle look like Leslie Nielsen to you?
Yo, actually, Belle.
Now that we think about it, he was kind of weird,
Yo, actually,
and
I'm sorry to cut you off. Actually, Belle looked like Hathaway from What Is Love.
Hey, there you go. Yeah, that's true. Damn, I can't believe you brought that. I don't even remember how he looked like. And then you say it, and now I'm picturing him as that. Let me ask you, because actually I did get a kick out of this, because anybody that has something to say while the movie's going, I always get a kick out. I just love it. Vanessa, you said something that I love that you said. I almost ran over there and gave you a hug. When Belle attacked that Asian girl, by the way, you're right. That is the girl from the guy.
Yeah, I told you from
Kickboxer.
Kickboxer.
Yes, it was. You said, you know what? That's actually kind of scary. Like when the attack.
Oh yeah, with the skates.
Like, how
yeah.
she was coming with, how she was coming with the skates. I have to say that. I don't want to.
Yeah.
I hope I have gay film fans, so don't be offended from us. I'm sorry, but it was the 80s. I was a little kid. Please, have some sympathy towards me. It was my first she.
Yeah.
I don't know how to explain that. You know what I mean? But so I love the scene where, because she rollerblade to that victim. And I thought that was cool because as a kid, I thought that was fucking scary.
Yeah.
Because it's just shot so nice and slow. It has a moment. The teeth,
the hair, everything.
Everything just flowed right. So the fact that what I love is that you tapped into your inner child of what you can consider what's scary. You know what I mean? And this is actually something that I asked everybody on the showroom floor. Besides that scene, again, was there a scene that if you just brought yourself back to a child, does Fright Night 2 have any scenes that you can say are scary as shit? Like you can actually say you're scared?
Yeah, I think that scene did it for me.
Yeah,
to
that
be
scene
honest.
did it for you, right?
Yeah, because
You said, "Damn, that's scary." That's you tapping into your younger self and saying,
yeah,
"Yo,
because
that's actually
I loved
I do
roller
that.
skating when
Yeah.
I was little. But if I saw that, I would never roller skate again.
That would
I'd
have
be
taken you
scared.
back. Yo, Vanessa, you want to go to the roller ring?
Hell no.
No.
Nope. Not today. Not ever.
Not after Belle and
Nope.
then her Ishii fucking kill her ass.
Exactly.
Joe, what do you think? Is there something on there that you can honestly say that would creep you the fuck out?
I grew up on scary movies in this, so no, but this would have hyped me the fuck up as a kid.
Yeah?
Because I love shit like this. I grew up with horror movies, and like this
Yeah.
isn't particularly scary on the scale of 1 to 10 of like scary movies.
Mm-hmm.
This is on the first 5.
Yeah.
This isn't up there. This isn't,
Yeah, yeah.
it's not Child's Play. It's not
No,
Puppet
not at all.
Master. It's not Hellraiser. It's not Pumpkinhead.
Yeah.
But that would have hyped me up. Candyman was boring as a kid. I couldn't appreciate that until I was an adult.
I never even watched
That movie
But
was scary.
As a kid, I couldn't sit through it. But no, this it would have hyped me up. I
Yeah.
loved this shit.
Because it has like that pop gander to it. You know what I mean? It's exactly what the movie was that you guys falsely accused Fright Night of being. They called it a dark comedy. And then I was like, this is not necessarily a dark comedy. At least the first one wasn't. But the second one is. You hit it right there on the neck. It was literally, you see it. Like, they do those kind of comedic moments where the werewolf's nails get clonked right on the window. He falls out. The what's the name kept saying, you're supposed to bite her on the neck.
Yeah.
Obviously, werewolves don't bite nobody on the neck. That's also what gives away that he's a vampire and not a werewolf. But like, yeah, you got that stuff and how he's like, I'm not hungry today. Like, you know what's hilarious? That guy that plays that werewolf vampire does play a werewolf in another movie. You ever seen the Monster Squad?
Yes.
He's the werewolf in that movie. Same guy. It's like, what the fuck? It's like they literally discounted you. It's like, you want to be a werewolf in this one? You were such a great werewolf here. Whatchamacallit? Outrageous O, come on, dude, let us know. Is there any scene in this movie that, as a kid, you're gonna be like, you know what, I can't watch Fright Night 2, please, I don't want to see
Well,
that.
for me, it was the scene where they were at the club or party when he was dancing with the girl. He was being seduced, and she looked beautiful in the front, and then like when he took his eyes off, she turned slowly into a vampire back to a human.
With the cross, right?
Yeah, with the cross.
Another thing, hold on, I just got another thing that I think is cool. Why having another vampire? Because that would look so much better. What this movie did, they did little mini CGI stuff. They were introducing
correct.
CGI in this movie where the first one didn't do that stuff. It was all practical. But if you tear down your walls and just concentrate on what the scene is supposed to do, I still think it's an amazing scene when she's got the cross and is dangling away, and as it goes away, she looks normal. As it comes to her, she turns into a vampire. I think that still to this day, I just think that's just such an awesome, because your mind can fix it and just like you can see it in such an awesome way.
Yeah, because the way I saw it evolve from the first one compared to the second one, the abilities of the vampire expanded in this film.
Yeah.
Because you didn't see that in the first one.
No, not at all.
So
You
I
couldn't even
appreciate
get
that a
one.
lot. Yeah. So,
Yeah, you couldn't even get that. Not so good looking John. Is there a part that you can openly say that you would be scared of if you're watching it as a kid?
Finding out the vampire was a man.
Yeah, as an adult, yes, that is scary. But but as a kid though, yeah, there's a few scenes that you know, that would get me, especially the one where the club scene, not the scene where with the cross, but like when Peter was using that mirror again. And you see everybody like slowly just either there's no reflection, and then you see everybody getting like molested.
Oh
in
yeah,
every
when people
single
are getting
corner
bitten and he's like getting freaked out. There are people like literally getting eaten.
Yeah,
in
that,
silence.
That would have scared me.
Yeah, as a kid that would have gotten you.
And then the ending of the movie would have really.
The death?
Just the whole ending would have
whole
scared
ending?
me. Like,
Why
for
is it?
example, like, when Triple H, that guy. I gotta keep calling him Triple H because that's what he looks like to me. Yeah. When he gets his stomach sliced.
Oh,
and you see
yeah,
and you
man.
see
When
the
I was a
bugs just
kid,
coming
I couldn't
out.
watch that scene. The bugs, don't put me in a room full of bugs. Like, and then you got a scene where this fucking guy's
I'm not a badass like Joe, but, when as a kid, I would get...
scared of bugs like me?
Yeah, I'd get scared of, a lot of things as a kid, though.
Yeah. I can give you one. Here's mine.
I've matured, Joe.
There's a lot of scenes that do it to me in this movie that make me remember from when I was a kid that I was like, I literally would forward certain scenes. If I couldn't stomach it, I literally would forward until it passes. But the one that always gets me, that I always had to fast forward, I could not watch it every time, is when Peter Vincent goes down to go open the elevator, the hatch of the top. Once he opens it and she pops out like that, got me every single time because it's the most ugliest
Exactly.
fucking thing
Yeah,
I've
that's
ever
what I'm
seen.
saying. Like the whole,
Like, I'm
the
being
whole ending.
honest. If I was a kid and you got to say, because you said it yourself, he puts the cross on the floor so he could, because he can't get the strength to open it with one hand, so he gets the two hands and it's like, Rah! And then he closes it and closes
I
it
would
up.
have held that cross so tight.
What you think of her prosthetics? Of her, I think it's up there with Evil Ed when she popped up out of the elevator. That 1 second that you see her.
Yeah, no.
Before she gets the cross,
Yeah,
when
yeah,
he says
yeah.
back, and she falls.
It was interesting, but I kind of wanted to see a little more.
Yeah,
know what
you
I'm
didn't
saying?
get the awesomeness like in the
exactly.
first one. You're kind of like literally looking at it. You know what I mean? You get
Yeah,
to
they-
see, you
they
get to
didn't
simmer
really-
it.
Yeah,
There wasn't
that's what I
much
was looking
simmering
for,
in this
yeah.
one. Yeah, the part 2 didn't have much simmering, just more like quick reaction moments. Where
Yes.
you
Now-
just like I said, like oh shit,
Let-
close that shit down.
Let me
Yeah.
ask you a question from a director's perspective.
Mhm.
Do you think they did the quick camera angles in that one scene where she popped up from
Mhm.
the elevator? Do you think they did like the quick shots just to try to keep the realism? If they stayed on too long, do you
Yes,
think it would
because
been...
you know why? It's bigger and there's a lot more motion in that. And
Yeah.
even when you saw her for like a good 5 seconds, that's a lot of movement. That's even way more movement than Evil Ed even got. Because in the first film, they had him move around, but like I said, the light was swinging. There's dark and there's light, so there's a lot of things that you can hide in the light. Where in this one, it's just full on blown light. That's where it's considered better, quote
And
unquote
actually,
better.
what I noticed was on the first one, on Fright Night 1, when you actually look at the character, when the vampire was in any scene, you had red lighting in the back.
Yeah.
And this one, you didn't have any of that.
No, they
You
were
know?
a lot more braver. It's brighter. This
Yeah.
movie is a lot brighter.
Yeah.
It's not as dark as the first one was. This is one thing that I actually also wanted to talk about, that a lot of people started like talking about it and while we were watching it. When Regina is doing her quote unquote performance artist on the TV show.
Oh,
where she
yeah,
does
yeah.
Fright Night.
I got an issue with that.
It was now let me the issue was that how can she be on film shouldn't she not cast a reflection? And you guys said it like have you seen a movie where
Yes.
I don't know, I'm being honest.
Yes, I can
What do we
answer that
got?
right
What-
away. And Tales of the Crypt from Bordello of Blood. When
they filmed them and they didn't come up?
yeah, because when he was actually went into the strip club, they were pretty much talking in an interview with the head vampiress,
Yeah.
whatever she's called, and she was actually being filmed. But when they played back the tape, they actually didn't see her in the film.
Interesting.
So
But
when I
mind
saw
you,
that,
Bordello of
that
Blood
could-
is way after this
oh, of
movie.
course,
Yeah,
of
that's what I'm
course.
saying, like,
So
by
that's
5-6
why.
years.
That's why when I saw that scene right away, it clicked to me. I was like, hey. You can't see that. So
Yeah.
how could she be hypnotizing if that was the scheme
Yeah,
they were
yeah,
going
yeah.
for? How can you hypnotize people if you can't see your own reflection
Yeah.
through a camera?
Yeah.
Well,
You know?
Well, I don't think anybody was being hypnotized there. I think people were legitly liking
Oh yeah, yeah.
like meaning what the ones that were watching it.
I got
Oh,
something to say about that though, because you say in the beginning how the intro is with the group hypnosis that didn't tie in there, but that's kind of like foreshadowing to that point when she's on TV.
Yeah.
and
People
that's
were
what
getting entranced.
Vampires do is they hypnotize, they entrance
Yeah.
people,
Uh-huh.
they fuck with your mind. And being on TV would be a great outlet for her to be hypnotizing
Yeah.
people. And
Yeah,
I'm sure if we rewatch that, there's something else we could pick up about that. It might
Yeah,
not
I
be
mean,
that strongly written, but
You're right. Charlie Brewster's girlfriend was digging that. You know what I mean? There were people literally
I
watching
don't
it.
remember what the black guy said at the bar.
Like
to
everybody
old
at the bar,
man,
yeah,
but
everybody
he
at the
said
bar, they were
something to
watching.
him, like,
Those were a whole bunch of people that wouldn't watch shit like that. You could tell, like it was like even Charlie's girlfriend was not the type to watch something like that. She offered to go see an opera, and all of a sudden she's watching a performance artist of a woman turning into a vampire.
I mean,
Well,
she read a
Marvin's
book for
getting
Christ's
on that.
sakes.
What's up?
She read a book for Christ's sakes.
Yeah, she read the book to
Yeah.
impress her
So,
boyfriend.
like-
I
That
thought, which was
speed
very
reading though.
With the finger, she had me there.
Sweet. Yo,
yeah,
she
with
had
the
me there
hands.
too.
Yeah.
You need to
I wanna
wipe
speed
off-
By the
read
way,
like
that's
that.
called
Like that.
mega reading.
Well,
Mega
Yeah.
reading? Are you really? Is that true? They
I'm
call it that?
serious. I'm dead
Jesus
serious.
Christ, I thought you were like calling it something.
No.
Vanessa,
bro.
what was it? What you saying? I'm sorry.
No, I wish I could speed read like
Yeah,
her.
hell yeah! Put my hand like that. You know what? I tried that. It don't work.
No.
Not for me.
She was
Try
moving
it.
so
Try it.
fast.
If you ever get a chance, try it. It doesn't work.
you
got-
can read that fast, but you can't absorb any of
No,
the
you
shit.
can't.
Yo, put it like
And
this.
she looked like she absorbed the shit out of it. She was like, "That's a
She put
good book."
She put
Charlie,
roses.
very good
She
book."
put roses in the fucker's mouth. I watched
Yeah.
that.
She
I
was
don't
like,
remember
if you
that
didn't
from
read
that movie.
book, you would have known that.
Yeah, if I gotta read Once Upon a Time like 6 times for me to get it, it's an issue. I mean,
That's a show I
You
like.
gotta read the instruction
I got
manual
something.
twice before you can build something.
yeah.
Yeah.
I have something here.
So you
Well,
got
it's a
there,
question.
I
What
also
you got,
have
Ugly
another
John?
question after John.
Yeah, no problem.
But I got a question.
Yeah.
Now, this goes back to the beginning of the movie where she was explaining why she was more tolerant with the cross. Now, if she's a
Yeah.
more powerful vampire,
I love that, by the way. But go
well,
ahead.
if she's a more powerful vampire,
Mhm.
do you think that she could somehow manifest her reflection in the video, knowing that she's trying to make us hypnotized?
That is actually what I've let myself to believe in this film.
That's what I was doing too.
Vivian,
Yeah.
you have to say something because you have something to say. You have.
Silent
I saw
V.
you do
The
it, so you're gonna have to
silent
talk right now. Sorry.
Remember the part where the the guy was like he held up the mirror
Yes.
and her reflection wasn't there.
Yes, of course. That's
If
the
she
normal
was-
standard.
I
Yeah.
know, but let's say if she was actually strong enough, she could tolerate those things, then she would have been. She would.
Maybe she was because she was caught off guard.
Yeah, she would have to focus her energies on.
Think about that. Being caught off guard, you're not gonna like. You know what I mean? The cross was on her face, and she kind of like
I don't think
got it a little bit, and then she kind of like, you know what I mean? Like,
I don't think that's it can't be helped though.
because think about it like this: the cross didn't hurt her in the beginning, but at the end of that movie, she took that cross head on, and she
Yeah.
fell right through that fucking
Exactly.
elevator. Because again, I think it was because it was kind of like off guard.
Could've
It was
been-
like super fast. The second time Peter Vincent does it, you know what I mean, as opposed to the first one, it was like.
But could it
You
have
know?
been movie magic, or she was just getting weakened as she was
Yeah,
being fought in the
I
process?
mean, this is actually one of the things is that every movie has a sin where it
Yeah.
kind of like contradicts itself. Every movie kind of has that, and so it's kind of like you
Yep.
kind of like gotta let it go a little bit, you know. But Vanessa, what was your question?
Remember the scene when they were in the railroad tracks with the
Psychiatrist?
Yes, and she stabs him with the wooden part of the railroad
Uh-huh.
tracks, right? And he's like, "Well, you didn't do it right. You didn't go
Yeah,
all
yeah.
the way.
He got
why
like half
does
human.
why does he do that?"
It was because actually Joe said it earlier. Lost Boys actually also has this folklore that they carried over. Anyone can turn. You can turn a vampire. You can turn anyone into a vampire, but you're not a real vampire until you've had your first kill. You literally you have to drink first. Lost Boys taught us that as well. And if you have not had your first kill and you are able to kill the head vampire, every person that has not been turned into a real if you haven't had your first kill, you'll turn back to a human form.
So he just killed himself.
So once he got stabbed, he was kind of like half killed, and so he was like half human again.
Okay.
And that's why he was saying, you didn't do it right, blah, blah, blah. Let me help you.
Okay.
So he was like a good guy because he got stabbed, but
Right.
he was like dying, but it wasn't in all the way, so he wasn't able to like actually die.
He wasn't fully turned the way that the
Mm-hmm.
main character was fighting them the whole time because he wasn't fully turned.
Yeah. Exactly.
So he just killed himself.
Yeah, like once he got stabbed, he kind of like snapped out of it a little bit because he wasn't a vampire after he got stabbed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then, like stuff like that.
Yeah, like Evil Ed in the first one.
In the first one,
He
there's a
didn't
character named
realize-
Evil
He
Ed,
didn't
yeah.
realize what he was until he was dying. He'd
Yeah,
be like, oh my
it was
God.
actually kind of sad because Charlie's best friend, Evil Ed, turned into a vampire, gets murdered before his first kill, and that becomes actually a very depressing scene
Yeah.
as opposed to like, oh wow, that's fucking awesome, look how he killed him. Like you start feeling sorry for Evil Ed for dying because he actually is crying, like he's tearing, like when you're seeing turn from werewolf to human form and he has like tears in his eyes. And then you don't see that much in horror films, which I really like. But what did you guys think of the kind of like not the gore factor, but like how they were using like the whole part, like what they did in the bar, how they were like pumping blood out of the guy, those really cool things like that. I personally always thought it was really cool shit because nowadays you can that's actually nothing, which is funny when it comes to a horror movie. It's just cool like stuff to see, but then when you're like they don't put that in there anymore. I got to see a trailer for Ouija recently, which is like the prequel.
Yeah.
And I'm like watching it and I'm like, I'm not a huge fan of demonic possessions and kids and all that shit. That does nothing to me. But what really put a bad taste in my mouth was like, it was Ouija, the prequel, rated PG-13. And all I want to do is whatever I have in my hand is I want to throw it across the room. Because here you got this movie, there's barely any kills, there's barely any cursing. Could be a PG-13, but it's not because it takes you to that area where it turns into an R. And I'm just like, what the fuck, man? You know what I mean? Anybody got a fucking anything to say on why our goddamn horror movies are PG-13 these days?
Everyone has a giant gaping hole between their legs.
That too.
Like this movie, it was not a gore movie, all right?
No.
And it's not anything shocking. And what they had was cheesy and laughable, but it did. Like that
It
guy
got the
melting,
job
looking
done.
like hot jello, melting the layers of flesh away from him, and like, the cheesy dollar store skeleton with the burnt flesh falling apart at the end.
Yeah.
Like nothing was amazing here. It was not. That's not
It
what
was
it was
just cool
about.
ideas.
And it was done well.
Yeah,
It was done
because
very well.
that's another thing. Because actually, John, you said something about like, oh, I'll wear a cross T-shirt when we watch.
I do.
How about that? They have a robe with a cross on it, and it kind of worked in the idea of what you said.
You see?
What did you guys think of Belle's death?
And also,
I thought it was cool. Like I know she melted
That's
into
the melting
but, like,
jello.
That was the jello scene, but the idea behind that, like where you got like a blessed robe, I was like, that's fucking really cool.
Anything that's blessed
if
works.
you
They
actually
stuck,
listen-
they stuck
yeah.
crucifixion crackers in the coffin, and that's what
Yes,
that's
like,
what did her.
and
in
even
at the
that,
end.
like that's what I'm saying. This movie has a
They
lot
didn't
of
stick to
fresh
the basics.
ideas that
Everyone-
they don't adopt.
Well, that's why I told you in the last podcast for the listeners out there.
Yeah.
I said I would actually draw a permanent cross on my neck with a marker.
It doesn't
You know?
work unless it's blessed.
If
Yeah.
if
That's
it
why
was
everything out of the
blessed.
church, even the rug, worked because it's blessed. And if you ever watch Dogma,
Uh-huh.
the priest's golf club
was
was
blessed
blessed.
because
and
he
Silent Bob
says
puts it through that guy's chest and he goes back to hell.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Right,
It's
correct.
blessed.
he was
if
like,
you
how the
kill
hell
them.
did that happen? Because every time he's trying to get a little putt in there, he goes, please God, let me. So he's blessing it without even realizing he's blessing it. Because that's actually another thing, another folklore. In part one of the things that they say is when you have a cross to a vampire, and if it doesn't work, the Jerry Dandridge was saying you have to have faith for that to work on me, meaning you can't just put up the cross and it'll be like, you gotta literally
that's what
want to
religion
believe
is,
it
though,
works.
when you
Exactly.
think about it,
They
yeah.
edged that religion part of it, and that's why like what's cool is that all the shit that they got is quote unquote blessed. They're just not picking shit out of a fucking hat and saying, here, use this. You know what I'm saying? Like that's one of the things I loved about part one and part two where they do that. And like that's what I mean, like, and I still hold it down and I'll defend it to this day. Fright Night has more unique deaths. As cheesy as they look at times, they have more unique deaths than they do when there's just some fucking guy getting some stake through the heart every 5 seconds in one of those like
It's
action
not.
horror.
It's not Buffy.
No, it's not Buffy. Remember you ever seen John Carpenter's Vampires?
Yeah.
Like that's like the action movie of fucking vampires too. Like it's like literally.
Well, yeah,
like,
when you walk into a hotel and you see fucking everybody getting like slain and shit, I'm like, damn, that's
what's
graphic.
hilarious to me. How
know?
is it that in 1985 and in 1988 they do something that I feel is good shit that can literally be stolen from vampire to put in another vampire movie and so on and so forth. If you watch Lost Boys, you're seeing shit that's identical from Lost Boys. See the flying shit, that
Bell's
like,
haircut.
Buzz haircuts, fucking all that shit.
Well, you know what? That's why I admire the beauty of vampire film, because I've actually you see from this time era to the present time.
Yeah.
I mean, okay, look at that. You got the most like artful kills, and then as you
Yeah.
evolve through the series, look
They
at
take
Blade.
all the- they take
Look
all
at
the
Blade.
easy kills.
He is slicing.
Look at Twilight.
things apart.
Like he got what is
Twilight.
it? He has,
I mean,
but
Twilight
see,
barely got
but
any
see,
kills,
and
but-
that's where the thing that I'm gonna say it right now. I wasn't a huge fan of Blade on some of the deaths. I don't like where did we get these fucking vampires died with silver? I hate that. I always hated that, even from the jump from when I heard Blade. When I first saw Blade, I was like, what? Why are you mixing werewolf shit with vampire shit?
Yeah.
And I was like, literally like.
Because it's losing its flavor. What do you think, Underworld?
Exactly.
I've never got into Blade or Underworld. That shit kills it for me
because
because
that's like
it just,
the techno cool leather bondage version.
it's like
of,
we're gonna
like-
mildly touch on two different
It's
genres and mix them.
It's for comics, and I get it, and I respect it for that. But I think that I've always felt that they killed that vampire culture. I'm gonna be honest, I've never seen Underworld. It was not ever something that I ever cared to watch. To each your own. I don't know how that works, but when I saw it, I'm like, yo, this is like a chick. She's Blade, but it's for werewolves. Like, it's literally, to me, that's what it looks like. Where somebody said, yo, why don't we just reverse the roles? We'll get a girl who fights werewolves as opposed to a guy that fights vampires. So when it comes to Blade, they took away. It's like, dude, like look at all the shit that all the ways that you can kill vampires.
Yeah.
Why are you resorting to the ways of killing werewolves to kill vampires? And I'm just like, that's bullshit, yo. Like, come on, man. Like, you could do so much better than that in terms of ideas. You know what I mean? Like, and it's just not that. Like, Twilight, I have my beef with, where they literally took away. They claimed
Sparkle.
Yeah, it's like, and that's beautiful. You know what I said? You know what? I'm not gonna say because I sound fucked up when I say it, so I'll say it off the air. What I figured. And
John Sparkles.
I do.
All right, you know what? Fuck
I
it,
do.
yo. I'm gonna say right now, Twilight. Before I even saw the movie, before I even read the book, I didn't read a book, but before I even knew it was anything, and I saw the first film, I don't even know why I saw it. I don't even remember. But when I saw
You were
the film,
forced to see it.
I
Guaranteed.
said to
Forced.
myself, yeah,
It was for some pussy.
yeah, I said to myself, you want to know what's hilarious? This is what I said. I said
Joe's
this
not
movie,
lying.
I said this movie looks like it was made by an extremely obese woman that loves vampires, and thinks that they're super cute. And I'm sorry, I don't mean to say like that. This is just me ranting. I just saying I'm not offending anybody. You want to
It's
know?
misogynistic Lou over here.
Yeah, exactly. You want to know what's fucked up?
Uh-oh.
Stephanie Myers is an overweight author that thinks vampires are cool and
She's
cute.
really overweight.
Yeah.
Yeah, she
She
is.
shops at Hot Topic.
I'm not lying. You can look her up. Stephanie Myers is an overweight author that thinks that vampires are cute. I shit you not. And I said that after watching it, and I'm like, shit, man. If I can.
This is where Lou gets sued and becomes famous.
It's
Yes,
fucked up. It's fucked up. I was able to see in the
God,
movie.
this is not video fucking casted right
Yeah,
now.
like to the
Until
record
it'll
of the
get there.
podcast, where I am actually an overweight person. So
I'm also an overweight girl.
yeah, so trust me, I'm not dissing you. It was just something I called out like out of a silly moment with people. And the sad part is that I actually called it right on the money. She is actually an overweight person that thinks vampires are cute, and apparently her vampires don't need teeth. Why the fuck are you a vampire? Be anything else but. What makes you a vampire is, to me, the teeth. Just like a man having a penis makes a man, and a woman having a vagina makes a woman. A vampire needs teeth in more ways. You know what I mean? That's what.
I think they do have
Movies are
teeth
like-
though. When
Nope.
they're ready to kill.
No,
they
sir.
do. Yeah.
Ma'am, I'm sorry. No, ma'am. They do not to confuse you with Belle.
I mean, to be fair,
They do
I
not-
read
not.
the books,
Mhm.
watched the first one and hated it
Yeah.
because it's retarded.
Yeah.
And I think I saw like pieces of maybe like the second one.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure their fangs.
I think they have-
ready to kill.
I
Well,
think they
I
have
saw
fang.
one fang, and I saw
Actually-
part 1 and 2.
I got an interesting comment as you see the evolution of vampires.
Evolution.
Whatever evolution. You're right. Thank you. If you watch Dracula,
Yeah.
Bram Stoker and all these other films, when you actually get down to it, it's always the woman. It actually went from man to woman, seducing. So also when I was watching this one, she actually had the whole seducing effect and all this other
Yeah.
shit. You know what I'm saying? Like she was doing her job. But then as you watch other films, you compare because the guy just usually goes for the swift kill and that's it. It's
Yeah.
done.
She
You know
was
what I'm
romanticizing
Yeah,
everything. And I
exactly.
always actually like that about
So
this movie.
sometimes, in a way, some people be like, oh, okay, it gets a little bit boring. I know she's gonna get into your dreams, tap into this whole thing, but she got the job done, kind of.
Yeah.
And to the point that where instead of the main character getting the victory at the end of the film, was actually the assistant.
Yeah.
So that's what made it very, I'm like, oh wow, okay.
Yeah. How about that?
He
Where
triumphed
our
him at the
hero
end.
becomes
Exactly.
the bad guy. for
Yeah,
a
he
little
was the victim.
bit. Mhm.
Well, I also think that the seduction was part of the lead up to her keeping
Yeah.
her promise to make his life a living hell.
Yeah.
Because when you think about it, the fact that she was able to go into his dreams and kind of like affect
Manipulate
him
them
the
and
way that
everything.
she did, because he started following her around. He became obsessive, and it started changing the way he was actually living his normal day-to-day lives or whatever life. Blah, blah, blah.
No.
But I do think that was a part of it.
I do
He's
agree.
vulnerable.
I
He's a
agree.
man, and she's a woman, and
Yeah.
that's what part of it.
I agree. I
You
like
know,
the
took hold.
woman aspect of it, of this movie, where you get to see this woman vampire be a woman and seduce this man, like the way a woman do, and then you see the vampire stuff come out, and that's like an added thing to it.
But vampires in general and genders aside, that's a huge part of vampire folklore.
Yeah,
Is that
hypnotizing.
they're not allowed. They can't just force themselves upon you. You have to invite
No.
them in. So that
You
their
have
thing
to
is they're very
want.
charming.
have
They're
to
supposed to
want.
be like make you.
They're like
they're
the
hyp-
sociopaths of
They
vampires.
hypnotize you. They make you want to be around them. They make you invite them in, and then they kill you. It's
Yep.
the whole game of being a vampire is seduction.
Kill you or turn you,
Vampire
whichever
movies
way
where
it
they're
is.
just outright brutal and kill you. That just it's cheap. This is the person wanting to get a quick little story across because they don't have the patience to write an actual fucking story. Vampires are supposed to be romanticized. They're supposed to be this intricate, intelligent. Like they're not your brute force werewolves getting turned over by the moon and tearing you apart.
Exactly.
Like
they
the-
will work.
Like yeah, exactly the way he said it. And if this is actually a girl's perspective,
That's
a
what I like
vampire
about
of a villain. Now, if you take a guy's perspective, Interview with the Vampire with Brad Pitt and Tom Cruise, there's
Yeah.
actually a guy charming his way, killing his victims,
Yeah.
picking them his own way. So,
Yeah.
like I said, it's
Because and what's cool is that in the interview, what you're seeing is that the reason why he wants a male companion, not a woman, he needs a male companion, because it's bros, bros over hoes. You need another dude to like live your life, not live your life with, but everybody needs that one friend you know, that's the same gender as you, and he needed one.
Yep.
That's what Lestat needed with him. And then, you know, if you wanted a chick, then that's on you. But, you know, bros over hoes, vampire
I
style.
mean, that's why she had the tranny black guy.
Exactly. The Hadaway.
I mean, white trash Jim was just in there as a werewolf because he wasn't cool enough to be part of the inner circle, I guess.
Oh, by the
Think
way,
of
the
what
way he pronounces things before he ate them was hilarious to me.
I thought that was great, and I can't recite anything, but he literally, whatever he was eating, he was calling him by their scientific
name. Exactly.
There was no real explanation to him, but another thing with regular, like, vampire folklore, I want to say he probably, the way he's their slave is because vampires, the way it's supposed to be is like if they drain your blood and that's it, you become like a zombie, like their slave. If they give you a little bit or leave you a little bit of blood or whatever, then you become
some
a vampire.
kind of source of life.
So maybe he was just made to be their slave, and that's why he didn't drink blood because he wasn't a vampire. But he needed the bugs to keep himself alive.
Yeah, he's self-sustained. He can't eat food like...
Because that's where original zombies came from too, not the Jamaican, like, you know, Haitian black
like
magic voodoo ones.
Like that.
But vampires would make zombies by draining all your blood out of you, and you're just undead.
Yeah.
And you're their slave.
And Lost Boys had the same thing, but in Lost Boys it wasn't another person. It was the main bad guy's dog.
Yeah.
His hound of hell, basically. He's like, while this vampire sleeps, this dog guards, and hence why it attacked the woman that he was dating in the film. You know what I mean? Things like that. So, like, this is kind of like its version of that. You know what I mean? And also goes with, like, vampires needing other companions. Because in Lost Boys, the main villain had all these young kids that he took to make vampires because they need companions. You know what I mean? He was growing up this big family.
And how he was immune to the garlic with the same way she was, because over time you become stronger and you become immune to the things that they bring at you.
I've always liked that. Also, one of the things I like in this movie is that in the first movie, it was like, is the guy next door a vampire or not? In this movie, it's like, she's a vampire. There's no way friends. In the first 5 minutes, you already seen her on top of this guy's car. You know what I mean? It's like, now the question is, why is she there? That was where, like, the real linger was. Like, she's all over the place. It's like, why are you here? We know you're a vampire, but there's a reason. And what I'm happy is that movies like this, they give you a reason. Instead of, like, literally now, it would just be like, who gives a shit about the reason? We'll just let her kill people.
And especially in the beginning in the elevator, you don't see her as the main attraction. They make the black guy the main attraction with his hair and everything. She looks a little subservient.
Like,
she's a little bashful. She's looking down, looking at him. Like, she's not made to be the center of attention at all. You don't know she's the ringleader.
Because look at Belle. Look how Belle looks. Like, you crazy?
Like, flock of seagulls. Fucking.
Yeah, exactly. Like, she was... Even me, as a kid, I couldn't keep my eyes off anything else but her. I thought that the main character, the main vampire, Regine, I thought she was hot, though. Like, as a kid, I was like, damn, she's gorgeous. Her name is Julie Carmen.
He got his first boner over her.
Yeah, man. Probably, man. 12 years old. I'm like, yo.
John got his over Belle.
John, what do you think about Regine? You want her?
I do.
Yeah, man. She was hot.
Yeah.
I think she was half Spanish and black or something like that. But she's been quiet looking at your phone. What do you got to say about Fright Night? And anything about vampirism?
I would like to just point out one thing.
Yeah.
Joe scared away the Sandman.
Oh, man. But he's, you know.
No, he has school tomorrow.
He has school tomorrow.
No, he doesn't.
You always prematurely
fucking
leave
chuck
my
it football.
show.
Exactly.
He always prematurely leaves my show, that darn kid. But back to Fright Night and vampirism. Vampirism. John, do you have anything to say about that?
I do.
What do we got to say?
Okay, first of all, I feel like, you know, the generations of vampirism or whatever it is, I think it's gonna revert back to itself, its old roots.
I hope so.
It's already started.
I don't know if you noticed.
It's already started.
Have there been a vampire film in the last 5 years?
Yeah, if you not in the last
Twilight
5
ruined
years.
it. I don't think it's been one since.
Yeah.
No, not in the last 5 years. I mean, Let the Right One In, I think, it was the latest.
But even don't quote me again. I think we had this conversation. She doesn't have teeth in that movie.
She really doesn't? I thought she... I don't know.
I'm just asking. It's been so long.
The American one or the like Norwegian one?
The Norwegian one.
No, not the American one.
Any teeth in this film? Because they have a tendency to not show teeth anymore.
I didn't see the American one. I just saw the little subtitled Norwegian one.
Yeah, that one. I feel like... Did she have teeth? Do you remember?
They want to show vampires without teeth no more. They want to make them walk in the daytime. They want... they're just weaker. No, don't have that. You're fucking it up. Like, it's like, so why bother? Like, so they have no real weakness. We got one that...
What it is, it's a political statement on society.
Push. Yeah, man. That's probably what it is, man. The vampires, they're not getting.
Pretty soon they're gonna say vampires are Mexicans.
Well,
we gotta
that's
hate
crazy.
Mexicans.
The most recent, actually up-to-date film
Build a wall.
dealing with actually the actual vampire category is Daybreakers with Ethan Hawke.
They had teeth.
Daybreaker.
Yeah,
I'm assuming that means they can walk in the day.
Vampires?
Yes,
Yes,
they
they
were.
were.
But weren't they daywalking vampires? Isn't that what they
No,
call it?
no.
they were actually trying to find a way.
To get out.
Yeah.
Okay, I got you.
walk into the sunlight.
I think I remember that movie. I remember that movie.
SPF 7.
And I said to
Yeah.
myself, oh, finally, look, a fucking vampire movie where the sun hurts them.
And
The
then
newest
from
vampire
there-
I've ever seen though is on Adventure Time, Marceline.
Yeah. She looked
yeah,
like
I
a
think she's the
vagina.
latest only
And
vampire.
I'm
in the
sorry,
last
she
5
does a better
years.
job of being a vampire than half these movies coming out.
Actually, you know, in Daybreakers, that they actually stick to the traditional.
Yeah,
They do.
I remember it. I
So
remember
if, okay, so if that's their most recent one, I could have sworn it was.
it. You know what it is, though?
Well,
I just-
actually,
Go ahead.
sorry to cut you off.
No, go right ahead.
From Daybreakers actually goes up to Priest, a 2011 film with pretty much sets placement in a post-apocalyptic world with a priest disobeys and he goes against vampires and werewolves.
Oh, yeah, that's based on a comic book. Yeah, I know what
Yeah.
you're talking about. Is Paul Bettany, am I right? Is he the guy that plays the priest?
I'm not sure. I should go
But
to it.
one of the things is just, you know what it is? I'm tired of this techno bullshit in horror films. Yes, like I don't want more techno.
Okay, well,
No more leather.
What about like
God.
a country themed vampire
Then
film?
let's give it a try. You know why? Because they
Vampire spaghetti western?
Hey man, right? Hey,
A Japanese vampire
in
spaghetti
the
western.
in the eve of Jonathan Peele making a horror film, I'm willing to see anything right now
Okay.
to see if anybody can do anything right.
well, they're trying to stray away from Twilight. Let's be thankful for that one.
Yes, I'm very thankful for that
Okay,
one.
so
because look where it brought
but,
us.
yeah,
to.
yeah, but that's just what I'm. That's just what my whole point was. They're just going back in a sense.
Yeah.
They're taking a step back and be like, okay, let's make real vampires.
I'm all for that, and
with-
just take
with-
the leather and the techno with it.
With my opinion on Fright Night, I enjoyed it. I like it a lot. I'm just a little disappointed with the fact of how, they kind of just did away with her brother, in a sense. You know what I'm saying? Like they just.
Well, let me ask you.
I mean,
this.
I know it was I know it was like a revenge film.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
I
yeah.
understand that. Like at the end of the first Fright Night, it was supposed to be her.
Yeah.
And if that's the case, then it makes the movie just that much better because it really does flow right into it.
Well, let me ask you something. Is that your 2016 horror movie self-talking? Because the thing is that horror films back in the day, you got your good guy, you got your bad guy, evil gets punished. That's it. I come from a world where horror films, they kill their bad guys. They don't come back.
No, and the worst thing is you might get an ambiguous ending with no sequel after it.
Yeah, and then you
sometimes
get
you get the glowing eyes and it never happens. Like,
yeah, and it never happens.
Super Mario Brothers didn't have a sequel when they left you off expecting a sequel.
Exactly.
Yeah,
but
Still waiting for
this
that
is what I
sequel.
mean by it, like where we live in a world where, like, let's say Jeepers Creepers or I Know What You Did Last Summer, where these bad guys, quote unquote, come back. It's like, dude, didn't we kill you?
No.
Why are you here?
No, it's not
Like
my-
Jaws is a good example. They kill Jaws. Every
Jaws.
single movie. So when there's a
seems to be
sequel, it's
another
not the
fucking
last
shark.
Jaws. It's just a sequel with a new one. But it's not like, oh, you didn't kill me, motherfucker. Look who's
Okay.
back.
I just
That's
in
what-
horror, I really feel there should be no sequel. Why?
This actually, for everything, the only reason why movies make sequels, I mean, if it's not a planned anything, money.
Yeah.
The success of a film will make you a sequel.
Like, for example, Jeepers Creepers. I love that movie.
Yeah, okay, I
You
got
know?
you.
Yeah, and they should have left it like, okay, he can't be killed. It's just leave him be.
Yeah.
He took Justin Long, flew away. That's it. You're not killing the dude.
No, but people were not satisfied anymore.
I was
They
satisfied.
wanted more.
Because think about it, Fright Night, the first one ends without an opening, really, except for the eyes part. There's no real room for sequel there. I just feel like they finessely gave you a sequel
Why
Okay.
did they make it a sequel?
because the first one was a success. To what it was. It
Once
actually
there's
made
money
good money.
in the people pockets.
The
from
word of
movie,
mouth.
They want to just.
There was word of mouth. One of the big ways that you knew that something was popular, it wasn't necessarily only in theaters, but how it sold in home videos. When it came out, was the rental, numbers high for that movie, was buying
Blockbuster.
it. Yeah, like
Back when
Blockbuster,
Blockbuster
exactly.
was
Rest in
around.
peace.
Toys.
And
Yeah,
Planet
exactly.
Hollywood.
And Fright Night did have toys. You can actually Google Fright Night toys. They had toys. So when you have that kind of a market and it was successful in its time, it had a popular soundtrack. I'm sure people bought it when it came out as well. And they said you'd have to be stupid to not make a sequel out of this. They did that with Blair Witch. Look at Blair Witch,
Yeah.
they spent $20,000 to make it. They got back almost $250 million in box office.
Yeah.
248 to be exact. You're gonna tell me that they're not gonna be like, pump out a fucking sequel? We don't give a shit if the fucking directors don't come back. And then what happened? Blair Witch: Book of Shadows came out like super soon. It wasn't even in the vein of how part 1 was. It's again like how we've been speaking it. These untied sequels that have like no kind of visible kind of like relationship with the first film, and it's like, why are you a sequel? Why are you here? And who told you to take that fucking name?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that's exactly how we feel sometimes with some of these movies. You know what I mean? When they make sequels out of them. This is one thing that's true. Believe it or not, the horror genre is my favorite genre of all time. Over any genre all movies that I watch. It's also the least movies I watch in that genre. I will be like, I'm talking about, if you watch my whole collection, my horror collection is the smallest.
Same.
Out of all the other genres. Why? Because it's the most abused genre in the entire history of films, right next to comedy. They're the two most.
Everyone feels it's too easy to just make those
and
movies,
this is what's
and
fucked
they
up.
just produce tons
and
of shit.
Exactly. And guess what? That's 100% false. Because horror movies are not easy to fucking do. You know what I mean? In terms of convincing
how did she in the movie refer to them again? She referred to it as some like lowbrow, like cause she was going to the opera.
Yes.
That's the popular
low grade,
opinion. That's
an undergraded
genre.
It
is like how people view metal against symphony music.
Yeah, exactly.
Like it is how everyone views it as being this shit. But it's not that easy to make.
No, it's not. But he also, as a written form, he tells you, oh, you think that vampires are bullshit, and here he puts in her face one of the greatest vampire books ever written, and possibly one of the best vampire films ever made, Bram Stoker's Dracula. You know what I mean? There is quality in the work. The problem is there's a lot of shit, and you got to get through all the shit to get to the good shit.
You need a big shovel.
Exactly, you need a very big shovel, and. You know, that's exactly what I mean. Like it's literally the least genre that I watch. People are like, oh, so if you love horror movies, you should watch all horror movies. You should support the quote unquote horror genre. Fuck you. The reason why these bad movies are being made is because you are supporting the fucking horror genre the way that you're doing it. You understand what I'm saying? Stop watching these unnecessary sequels, these unnecessary remakes, these unnecessary bad horror films. Don't think that Netflix is your god of horror. It's not. There's a lot of shit in there, like garbage shit in there.
It's overwhelming these days. They used to actually have a lot of good low-grade stuff, and now they don't have that.
There is such thing as of great low-grade. This is Hollywood. Like, I'm gonna believe it or not, Fright Night is Hollywood. It wasn't independent.
Yo, you know what's crazy? Actually, Fright Night, the first one, actually had a budget of $7 million.
Yeah.
And they actually made $24.9 million.
That's good. Like, in terms of, like, spending low, getting high, that's a success. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. And
absolutely.
The second one, though I do like it, it's not as ambitious as the first one. That I can tell you. Yeah. 100% fact. It's not as ambitious. But, you know, that's just the way the cookie crumbles. That's just the way that it is. And
for a sequel, it was good.
Exactly. That's what I was going to say. God bless this movie for being
Fright Night 2 actually made $2.9 million.
What was his budget? Does it have it? You know what I'm saying?
I'm actually looking into it.
Yeah, that's a big step down. You know, you went from 25 to barely 6. You know what I mean? But you could see the like I said, it's not as ambitious. Personally, I don't see why it made that little. I think the movie is, like I said, good enough.
You gotta look into, was it a theater release or right to?
Yes, they were both theater release.
Yeah, theater release.
Mm-hmm. So I don't see why this. Maybe it was because of what you said, John. The fact that there's no Jerry Dandridge.
Yeah, well.
Maybe we were chauvinistic and it was a woman. I'm being honest.
It was the 80s.
It was the 80s.
So the way they portrayed him in the first one, he was like the boss. Yeah. You know, like he was the shit.
Yeah.
You couldn't kill him. You know, like he was hard to kill.
Yeah.
But then his sister comes out of nowhere, 10 times more powerful than Dandridge, and you know, like, I mean, like now that I think about it, it's believable. You know what I'm saying?
I think it was harder to kill her.
Yeah.
I personally think it was harder. They had to put a fucking cross on her coffin.
The only reason like that cross affected her on the elevator, the only reason she was going through those extra transformations is because she was fleeing. She was running away. She was hurting.
It was already daylight.
They were
once
doing damage.
Once it's daylight, it's a wrap. They don't have the power to to fight against you. You know what I mean?
Actually, updated info on actual film on Fright Night Part 2. Actually, the budget was actually $7,500,000.
Excuse me?
Yeah.
How much? 7
the budget. Yeah, the estimated
7 million
budget.
was the budget?
And the gross income of it was $2,983,784 US dollars.
And they spent almost eight to make it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
Awful.
That's why there's no trilogy.
That was bad.
Yeah, that's why.
Compared to the first one, the actual successful rate is bad.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so but that in turn is the reason why they made a sequel. That's what happens when you don't get the same people. They don't see a sequel in their minds. The problem is those movies
And it was actually a rated R.
They're both rated R.
Comedy.
There's no way that you can PG-13.
It was actually rated comedy horror.
Yes, the
thriller.
second one is considered a comedy horror.
Yes.
This one actually is. Because you could see there's openly comedic moments in this film.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? You actually can pick them out, what scenes they were, especially the werewolf vampire. Almost every scene he was in, it was a funny scene.
Yeah, he's pretty rapey.
Yeah, pretty much. But I think on this note, I think we got ourselves a show, but I just want to go across the room. Does anybody have anything to say about Friday Night Part 2? Anything?
Oh, if you haven't seen it, you should watch it.
Yeah.
And as far as this show goes with the horror themed October, I'm suggesting double feature.
What do you mean?
I don't know. One of your shows coming up, do 2 movies.
We were trying to do a two horror movie thing, but we did do Fright Night 1 last week.
I mean in a row.
No, I'm.
Yeah, we should watch Fright Night and Fright Night 2 in a row. I think we should do that on an offset.
I wish I would have seen the first
But
one.
we can watch. I mean, if you guys want to do a thing, we could do it on an off day, a non-podcast day is what I'm saying. We could have a Oscar I'm pretty sure would love to see Fright Night Part 1 again.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we'll figure it out where we could watch it. You know what I mean? Maybe a Saturday, or I'll just come creeping.
I was actually
over
wanted to recommend to actually the audience out there. Actually, I have not seen Suspiria. To all those actually who have researched and looked it up
too. You can do Suspiria too. It's another horror film. That's a foreign horror film.
Yes.
Well, we have to do Halloween though.
But next week is Halloween. Yeah. So because we can do Suspiria, the other one, for the maybe we should do the Halloween weekend.
Yes.
Pumpkinhead.
Or the house.
Yeah. Or House.
But for our
have
fan,
House
though.
Waiting, so
Our fan.
House 1 and House 2.
Ooh, I didn't know there was a house too. Wow. Now I'm interested.
Here, quick question. So, like again, Fright Night 2, recommended? Right up there with Fright Night? Or you recommend people to have a double Fright Night feature?
Well, if you actually enjoyed and liked the first one, I absolutely recommend watching the second one because actually it gives the whole questions and conclusions of the whole story.
Yeah, I think it has a wholesome piece together.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
I agree.
What do you think? Not so good looking, John. Should we have a Fright Night double feature?
We should.
Awesome. You recommend a Fright Night Part 2?
Fright
Night and Fright Night Part 2?
Yes, but it has to be watched in one shot, like you said.
Yeah.
The movies are short enough.
feature.
Absolutely, when you're not sleeping.
Yeah, exactly.
John got
It usually works better when you're awake for them, you know?
We're gonna start with this shit.
So yeah, then I'm down to squeeze it in there on a weekend where we could watch Fright Night and Fright Night 2
Absolutely.
on the off day of podcasting as a recreational thing. We owe it to Vanessa to watch Fright Night. I'm sorry, we owe it to Vanessa to watch Fright Night.
What about Halloween?
We are watching Halloween.
Yeah, we gotta watch that.
What about Leprechaun in the
I dare
Hood?
you to watch
I would
Halloween,
die.
the first Halloween, and then the second one right after.
I have both, but I mean, look, this is actually what I can propose. We can do Halloween 1 and 2 because it's actually like Fright Night, where it literally takes place.
Exactly.
Unlike Fright Night 2, Halloween 2 actually takes place right after. It's the same fucking night.
Well, I say yes to that.
So, if you want, we could do that. You know, have a Halloween double feature for the person that requested it. This is for you. We're gonna do Halloween 1 and 2 to that awesome fan.
Okay.
I was looking out for him.
You know
I was
who
looking
you
out
are.
for him.
Yeah, you're
We
looking out for him.
are
Thank
looking
you.
out for him.
Philip Rivera. That
I wanted to
one's
watch
for you.
part 2.
We got you, kid.
But I think on that note, anybody else got anything to say about Fright Night or anything horror related?
No.
Well,
Watch Pumpkinhead.
Yeah, maybe watch Pumpkinhead. I recommend Pumpkinhead a lot. Yeah, definitely.
Krampus.
Recommendations. Will anybody be restlessly sleeping tonight? Anybody gonna have nightmares? Maybe. Come on, be honest.
Absolutely not.
I think that Vanessa is gonna see Belle in her dreams tonight.
I know.
Coming at her
John's
like-
gonna. John's gonna. I know John's gonna pitch a tent tonight in his dreams, thinking about Belle.
Oh, Belle.
John's pitching something tonight.
John's ready with his
It's
new
not the Beauty and
haircut,
the Beast,
his
Belle.
beard. He's ready for it. Slaying him.
Well, I think that's it. No more roasting John. Come on, he's not so good looking. Give him a break.
Yeah, his hair's coming down today.
But
Exactly.
He's like a beautiful butterfly.
He's transforming, transforming to a
he's
werewolf.
cocooning.
He's cocooning.
Cocoon was another good one.
Here comes the closing stuff. The best part about it. We've got shirts. We got shirts. We got all kinds of shirts. We got blue shirts,
Get
green
'em.
shirts, white shirts, all kinds of shirts. The podcast logo tees are out. You can buy them right now. You can buy them right now in any color you want. The podcast logo is the one that you see on my Facebook page or my Instagram page. That little main picture right there. You can have that as a shirt. It's $15 for regular tees, $30 for sweatshirts, $40 for the hooded sweatshirts. So get yours now. Hurry, they're going fast.
For $20, John will hug you.
And $20, not so good looking John, he needs a hug. All proceeds will go to him, I promise. No, facial
And I will throw an additional hug.
yay. And then maybe we can get him that face-off surgery. You remember that movie in Face-Off where they get the
Yes.
surgery? Yeah, man.
Takes
he
his
can get
face
that.
off.
And he can face off.
I want to switch my face with Joe's.
Ooh.
Oh.
Yeah.
Sorry, man. I don't want to downgrade.
But
I don't
check
know.
this-
I might have to add snake bites so that way he can upgrade himself.
Oh, there you go. Maybe that'll work.
Hot Topics.
Oh.
Actually, no, forget it. Spencer's. We'll go to Spencer's for that one, you know?
Well, on top of that, please follow, like, and share. We got websites and social media sites where you look at. Pretty soon we'll have a website, actually. I'm working on that, believe it or not. But right now you can comment, like, and share. Facebook.com/WhatTheHellPcast. Twitter.com/TheHellPcast. Instagram.com/WhatTheHellPcast. You can also follow me on YouTube. You can follow me on SoundCloud. You can follow me on Google Play Music. Whatever you want to do, just look it up. Just type it. What the hell did we just watch? On that, I promise you. You can do the exclamation point and the question mark if you like, but
Cool.
they'll come up without them. I promise. So please, I need to comment. If you have another horror movie that we need to throw into the mix and all that stuff, like give us more stuff. Please let me stop suggesting. It's very tiring. Somebody needs to fill in my November stuff. I got only one movie so far, but we're getting there. You know, I gotta find a Thanksgiving movie. But I think in closing, I think we're done. We are done. I think we got another show in the wraps. Episode 16 is done.
It's a wrap.
Drink. No, we can't drink. It's Sunday. We gotta go to wake.
That's it.
Yeah, man.
Be at work at 6 tomorrow.
Yeah, you gotta go to work.
That's it. I got to work. That's it.
Good work out.
And it's a wrap.
And it's a wrap. And I want everybody to say peace out, Joe.
Bye.
I'm starting to get a liking of this. But please, everybody, just say bye-bye.
Bye.
Adios.
See ya.
Ciao. Hasta la vista.
Goodbye.